Terminator, cruel intentions. Wolf got boondocks.
Hey man, what the hell are you watching? With your hosts, Lincoln Hayes and Tim Bridge.
That's me.
Hello and welcome to the What the Hell Are You
Hi,
Watching podcast.
everybody, live from the Vermont Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're really doing it.
We've done it.
Several times.
I'm
Lincoln Hayes.
Two is the definition of several.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we did him in the showroom,
We
too.
don't need to talk about that
That's
one.
ancient history. I'm
Cool.
Lincoln Hayes.
I'm Tim Bridge.
Thank you for joining us for our 50th episode of the podcast.
What?
I know. I'm excited about that, too.
I'm surprised you didn't kick me off like
There-
episode 7.
That was about when I almost did.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning a
A
lot.
little truth for you. I'm pretty sure everybody here knows about the podcast, and several of you have been on it, which has been fun. But we're going to be talking about
Hometown.
the new Star Wars film, The Last Jedi, with our guest, Conor Lastowka. Welcome, sir.
What's happening? It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not a lot of podcasts make it that long.
It's
That's
impressive.
not true.
That's
So many
not
do.
true. So many, including this very podcast before.
Before I came on it.
I had
so
grand
this isn't-
visions of bringing you guys something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And?
It didn't happen.
Oh.
And my grand visions gradually downgraded. Like the fake thing I was going to bring you was just like, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to get them like a caricature of them hosting the podcast. Like I know an artist. Didn't follow through with that. It would I looked into it because he was
I
doing.
don't know. You already said that it wasn't a thing that you brought, and I got real excited.
It's like, maybe he's lying.
He's-
Maybe
I
it's
was like,
out
yeah.
back.
Is he gonna?
The reveal. But no. And
You
then
know, his wife did come in after him. Maybe she secretly has it with her.
Also, with how excited I just got about getting a caricature drawing of myself.
That we would
they
have
were
to
they were
share?
surprisingly expensive
I know.
when I looked into his commission rate.
Those guys. It's a
So-
racket, man. But Connor, we worked together on the Harry Potter roast.
We did.
Which was so much fun.
It was a great show.
You were Dumbledore 1.
Tim too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Tim
wrote
was,
a
Tim was a
joke.
writer on there.
I wrote a joke or
He
two.
showed up a few days and
Yeah.
then disappeared for the rest
Made
of
it in there
But,
once or twice. We'll see.
But really, what I wanted to talk to you the most about was after I found out that you produce and write for RiffTrax.
Yes.
Which is very exciting to
Mhm.
learn. Tell the folks at home and the folks here what RiffTrax is and how it's different from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Sure. So RiffTrax is my job. I'm a writer-producer for them, and I have been for their duration. And RiffTrax is very hard to describe if you're not familiar with Mystery Science Theater. If you are, it's pretty much that. It's the same concept and the same people who used to work on that show, which was a show for most of the 90s where a guy and his 2 robot friends would watch a bad movie and crack jokes during
Not
it.
real robot friends. They
Puppet
were
robots?
They were
characters.
Puppet
And so I
I
work
just don't
with
want to
the
scare anyone.
I work with the host, the human, and the voices of the 2 robots.
Mhm.
And we've been doing RiffTrax for like 11 years now.
Wow.
I heard Connor's voice before I even met him,
Really?
and I didn't even know for a little bit.
You had listened to a RiffTrax?
I had listened to a RiffTrax.
Nice. Yeah, so
I could have just said that instead of framing
make
it
it
like
convoluted.
a fucking weirdo.
So yeah, it's pretty much the same concept. We started off doing MP3s where you could watch any number of like bad movies you couldn't get the rights to. So you could do the Transformers movies. You could do better movies as well, like Lord of the Rings or Star Trek or
Yeah, that
Star
was
Wars.
something
Whoa,
that I
whoa, whoa!
was
Better than the Transformers movies?
I was surprised when RiffTrax became a thing. I was like, wow, they're doing like recent stuff now. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then gradually the idea of like getting movies that were sort of more movies you get as like the rights to stream them as a VOD, do a live show type of thing became more of like the primary thing,
Right.
Because syncing an MP3 to a DVD was very convoluted. It was like Dark Side of the Moon and Pink Floyd.
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
play.
and then you do that, and it would either drift out of sync, or if you had to use the bathroom, you'd have to pause it, and so
And you have to pause both.
at the same time.
And I only got so many thumbs, man.
and like I always assumed that like a healthy amount of people would be stoned listening to these sort of
Sure.
things, and that it would just be even harder.
I like that you use the word healthy.
It has been legalized. Thanks, Vermont.
Yeah, but so we do live shows a couple times a year that get broadcast to the Palace 9. You can see them. We usually do them out of Nashville. We've done over 20 of those. What was the last one we did? We did a Doctor Who movie last year, a really bad Doctor Who movie that's like vaguely part of the canon.
Is that the one that Peter Cushing is the Doctor?
Peter Cushing, those two are like not canon.
Right.
Those are disavowed by the Doctor Who fans. We did one where like 5 doctors get together, except one of them refused to do it, so they cut in stock footage of him. Another one had died, so they got a replacement guy.
You know, the BBC way.
Oh my God.
So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, cool. And now when you do...
In America, we just cast Christopher Plummer.
That's right. Because fuck Kevin Spacey. When you do them live, are you sitting on stage watching it, or are you sitting in the audience like old school MST3K?
Yeah, so I'm in the audience. I'm not on stage cracking jokes. I've written the stuff, and then I get to sit back and watch everything happen. Yeah.
One day.
One day. I was on stage. We did a Starship Troopers live show. Which was very controversial.
Yeah,
Really?
because it's an excellent movie.
A lot of people think that. And a lot of people think that...
That's a fucking subtle dig.
A lot of people think that because the director says, he's German, so he says, this is a satire.
Yeah.
And then, so they think that puts it beyond the realm of criticism.
Oh, it's not like well made.
No.
It's
just not the nightmare that people make it.
Oh, sure, yeah, no. But anyway, so Starship Troopers has several scenes where they're all showering together. And we try to keep the shows, until we did like The Room, we tried to keep them pretty PG-13. So during Starship Troopers, I got to be on stage because we brought on a gorillagram to distract. So the gorillagram came on and had balloons and did a little dance. So
To block
I don't think anyone
the
knew that
boobies
was
and the
me.
butts.
You
I
were
was
the
in
gorilla?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, they let me do one, and, you know, I got to tell some jokes, and it was fun. It's just like, no, they made me dress in a monkey
In
costume.
a gorilla suit. There was a little, it was like we had a VIP Kickstarter event, so people bought, the front row seats and stuff.
Oh, fun.
One of them was a little 8-year-old boy named Gabe. So that was a very they didn't know what movie it was going to be when they got the tickets. So it was like, all right, you got to do a really good job distracting.
The
So
8-year-old.
Gabe isn't like drawn to Casper
Boobs and
Van
butts.
D and like talon his ass off.
Nice.
Boobs and butts.
I
Excellent.
think it would have been better to have the Kickstarter award be to be the gorilla on the stage.
That would have been that would have made a lot of sense.
So
we were flying by the seat of our
are
pants.
you hiring?
Do you need a tall, skinny monkey? That wasn't a dig.
But
You're tall and skinny.
yeah,
Wow. A silence falls over the crowd.
I am. I am.
Be proud of yourself.
I am.
But so last
There's
time we
gonna
did
be
a
a
movie,
lot of those awkward lulls.
last time we did a movie with nudity was The Room, which was screened at the Palace 9 on Wednesday, and we did not edit that, so you got the full Monty, the full
Nice.
Tommy experience there.
Yes.
Yes.
I've not seen The Room, but I have seen The Disaster Artist, and
Oh,
I
wow.
really want to see The Room now because of that.
I've seen The Room. I have not seen The Disaster Artist.
I really enjoyed The Disaster Artist.
How about you?
I've seen The Room probably 3 dozen times.
Wow.
Because we did a RiffTrax of it, then we did a live show of it, so it was just a lot of attention devoted to it. I liked The Disaster Artist a lot, and it was fun to take a bunch of people who hadn't seen The Room on Wednesday to go see it because they were sort of going in blind, didn't know what to expect, and I think it was beyond what they even thought they were getting into. Because The Room hits you with the sex scenes about 3.5 minutes in,
Wow.
and the sex scenes are about 3.5 minutes long at that point in time. So
I'm sick of these scenes in movies not accurately depicting sex. The Room, 3.5 minutes, bam.
A little too much.
I don't need a
info on Tim Bridge.
montage. I don't need a montage that lasts 30 seconds. Give me action. Look at a
Gross.
watch. That's what I need.
The Tim Bridge way. Well, great. Welcome
Is
to the
it?
show.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
thank you.
Normally,
That's what he does. That's what I do. We can move forward.
exactly. Normally, at this point in the show, we would do pre-topic banter, but in the interest of time, we're just going to jump right in and talk about The Last Jedi, so that we can get a good chunk of time on it before we do some trivia.
Let's do it.
Check
So,
it out.
at the time of our recording, tomorrow will be 1 month since I've seen the movie, and I've only seen it once because, of course, I bought tickets to opening night.
Because you're a nerd.
Yes, exactly.
How far in advance did you buy those tickets?
2 months? Pretty much as soon as I could. I know. even in Vermont, I was like, I have to pre-order my tickets. And then, of course, I pre-ordered 3D instead of 2D.
You
And
had to
then-
cancel.
And then I had to fix
Oh,
that. And then we
fix it.
got there too late, and the theater was too full. So the wife went to the concierge and was like, can we please just go to the later one? This is like my husband's favorite thing. And we went to the later movie, and I got center seats, and it was amazing. And it was fucking great.
Picky nerd.
Exactly.
What
Picky,
is
picky
your
nerd.
track record of going to the very first showing of all these Star Warses?
Not great.
Okay.
Was this
I
your
went
first one?
to. I
Was your
saw
first Star Wars film that you've ever seen?
Yeah, I've never seen them.
It's so weird. There's these dolls on the table
I know.
that have not left their boxes.
Oh, what happened to Boba Fett? You got to fix it.
Why don't you
I
have Jango
saw-
Fett? Jango Fett is the better Fett.
No.
I'm gonna say.
I saw-
I'm just testing.
I saw
I'm
Force
just gonna
Awakens.
test to see what happens.
I saw Force Awakens opening night, I think. And then I may have seen. I was also in high school when the prequels came out, and our movie theater got everything about a month late.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like chomping at the bit to get it. And I saw Phantom Menace in
Where
the theater.
was that?
Wait a minute.
This is Northeast Colorado, with one screen in our movie theater.
Okay.
We have 2 showings a night, 4 nights a week.
What did they not clear out to make room for the Star Wars prequels?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's 99.
So for you, it was just like you had an extra month of anticipation
Yeah.
for the garbage that was just gonna be dumped
Oh, yeah.
on you.
And
so
then
you're
I'm
like,
sitting
oh
there-
God, I can barely wait.
I'm sitting there
Oh,
wanting
be
to
that
love
again.
it, and it's just terrible. And I'm kind of looking around like, is anybody else hating this? I don't know how to feel. And then by the time Attack of the Clones came out, I wasn't hopeful, and then I didn't see Revenge of the Sith
Wow.
for
Theater? Oh,
probably 2 months before it came out, because my friend Kyle saw it and was like, it's garbage. I was like, okay, I don't need to see it then. And then when I finally did, it was on a work trip. And I was like, oh, I
it's
can go
only
to the movie.
trash. Huh. I was expecting garbage.
Hate you.
But it's like someone fucked up recycling. That's what Star Wars Episode 3 is.
Somebody didn't know how to
Oof,
recycle?
that didn't land at all.
It was too heady.
Oh,
It's too
man.
heady for this crowd.
I don't think so. I think it was just bad.
No. Okay, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you.
What's your guys' history with
Oh
the
man.
new ones,
So,
anyway?
the new ones or the ones that you were just talking about?
Prequels on.
I saw the prequels. I saw the first prequel at midnight, and then I saw it the next day because someone had also bought tickets for it, which allowed my friend Andrew to make the greatest movie heckle. Well, I mean, relatively speaking. But he saw it and then he planned out. There's a scene where Jar Jar goes to grab the apples with his tongue, and Qui-Gon captures his tongue like that, and Andrew yelled out, "Gluttony is a sin," into a theater where most people were seeing it for the first time. So I guess it went over better than that just did.
Again, guys, tough crowd. They're our friends, and they don't like us.
I think
that's
it might just be that there are people in the room who are like, if some asshole shouted out in the movie theater when I was seeing Star Wars for the first time in 30 years,
True.
I'd be a little I'd be like, I'm not laughing.
It did. So yeah, a lot of people yelled out stuff at the room the other night, and that was something that
That's different.
That gives you as someone who sits and tries to think up funny things to say during a movie, it was a good ego boost from that point of view.
Nice.
Because
I just watch it at home alone, and I can yell whatever I want.
It's great.
but yeah, so then saw the other two, and expectations were low by the time they came
Yeah.
around. I waited probably a month to see the last one, and then I saw this one. I was out of town for the Last Jedi, so saw that probably 2.5 weeks after it came out. So I'm not I'm not chomping on the bit.
Yeah.
I would have been fine in northeastern Colorado.
Probably, yeah.
I saw because none of us are old enough to see the ones in the 70s.
Right.
I saw the prequels. I think like pretty early on. I was 7, and I fucking loved it.
This is
guess
pod
what?
racing.
Because guess what? Those movies are made for 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's a 7-year-old's favorite movie. Jar Jar Binks was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he's made for 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
I then watched it 10 years later.
No.
As
Garbage,
not a 7-year-old,
Yeah.
and I wasn't a fan. Yeah, and then for Force Awakens, I saw I'm a Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars, but I'm not like
Me?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a Star Wars. This is a TV show doll, not even like in the main movies.
And it's a fucking great TV show. Thank you very much.
I mean, you're allowed to do what you're allowed to do.
Thanks.
I'm just labeling it.
Okay.
I wasn't aware that was a TV show until I think New Year's Eve. A friend told me that existed.
It's very good. I highly recommend it.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, you have to have the Disney Channel or Amazon, so.
You have to have the Disney Channel. That's the first. You gotta have the Disney Channel, man. You just gotta. Dog with a blog. That was a Disney Channel show a couple years
I
ago.
was going to say, I don't think that's airing anymore.
Aw, really?
I don't
How'd they wrap
know.
it up? The dog die? Probably. That's how all dog shows end. Not dog shows. Whoa, that'd be bad. Oh, if every
Kennel
dog
Club dog show.
show. Oh,
Why do they keep
Here is
bringing the
our winner.
dogs
Oh,
here?
shit, he died.
congratulations to the victor.
Imagine how different the audiences would be of the people who would go to them.
Ooh.
Like my mom has been to dog shows.
Be a lot less pearls and a lot more brass knuckles.
Anyway,
So I like Star Wars.
great. The Last Jedi. Initial reactions to
This movie is the most divisive
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars movie of all time.
Yeah. Huh.
Period. Hands down, easily. Because just based off if you're looking at fan reaction.
Yes.
Which don't
Don't do that.
look at fan reaction.
It's a bad
to
idea.
anything.
Don't read YouTube comments. Don't do it.
There was a nerds, like when nerds get mad,
It's bad.
it's bad.
So I was out of the country when it happened.
Sure.
So and I made the choice to like not look at a bunch of shit while I was gone. So I was the same person who told me about Star Wars Rebels. I was like, so what are people angry about? So he filled me in that the scene of Leia flying
Yeah.
was very divisive.
I was fine with it.
There's a
Okay.
lot.
Maybe.
There's
what
a
else
lot
were people
of.
upset about? Like, fill me in.
There's a lot of things. People are upset at they feel like it doesn't feel like Star Wars. There's a lot. There's people are upset at the tone. There's some idiots who are upset that there is an Asian character in the movie.
Nice.
There's just a whole lot of people
Didn't
who are
they
just
see
not-
the Trade Federation in the first movie?
Look.
Oh.
Like, there was a time for that outrage. Like,
I mean, you're not
These
wrong.
are different people. These aren't people. These people see that and are like, yeah, that's what they're like. That's what those people are like. But this movie, and I think that it is divisive, and I agree that it should be divisive because at the not that I feel that it was not a good movie or any capacity, but it is very different.
Yes.
This is a very different movie from the rest of the Star Wars movies, even The Force Awakens included. I would
Right.
include in that. It is a deviation in terms of tone, in terms of time length, in terms of places that they go. It doesn't follow the formula that you're used to
Right.
for a Star Wars movie. So it makes sense why a bunch of goddamn pimple faces
Yeah.
are just like,
Yeah. Everybody was mad at
Everyone's
Force
so
Awakens
mad.
because it was so samey. It was like, oh, this just feels like A New Hope again. And then Last Jedi comes out, and it feels nothing like any of them. And those same people are pissed off because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. It's like, well, what do you want? Pick one.
The tone, do you mean like sort of the humor? that
there's
was
a
in it?
lot
The
of humor. in the
humor.
film. Okay, let's not talk about what other people think.
What do we think?
What do we think about? I like The Last Jedi. I think it's a good movie. I'm not in love with it. I think there are some issues with it. I at least at this point, having only seen it once, I think I prefer The Force Awakens to it.
Okay.
But it still has that charm to it, and it has enough moments in it that that definitely pull it very far away from being something that I would be mad at.
Exactly.
Like upset at.
Yeah.
I think it does have issues, but the backlash right now is absurd.
Right.
It's stupid.
What did you think of it?
I thought that my main takeaway from The Force Awakens and the new one was I was just shocked at how it proved that it was feasible to make these that were good again. You know,
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
colossal misfire,
Yeah.
of the prequels, which was
We
a man
can
with
do it.
as much
It is
money and as much
possible.
talent,
Yeah.
as you require, being like, just all right, let's do it in a completely different way.
There's this great video of George Lucas, and he's talking to Ewan McGregor when he's getting his awful rat tail Obi-Wan
His
Kenobi
Padawan
thing done.
haircut.
And he's like talking with him about the movie and about stuff, and he's just like, well, you don't want to get too. It's really it's tough. You got to find that fine line. You don't want to get too weird. You don't want to go too far in some places. And then it smash cuts to a shot of George Lucas after him screening to himself for the first time and going, I think I may have gone too far in some places.
Yes.
And it's fantastic.
said that.
There's I forget the name of it, but there's a documentary that follows the behind the scenes making of the Phantom Menace, and it is fascinating because they are all so miserable the
Yeah.
whole time.
Even
and
on the
there's
DVD, you watch it
there's
and
a-
you're like, nobody
there's
seems
a
to be on
dawning.
board for this.
There's a dawning like halfway through where they're like, oh my god, this is crap. We're making a really shitty movie.
Yeah.
So those movies, like it looked like they were pretty much all on green screens.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It sort of comes across as like a cut scene on like a 90s CD-ROM,
Yeah.
just like played out through the course of an entire movie. Like,
Exactly.
that's the sort of like two people standing there talking to each other,
Mm-hmm.
with some jarringly fake background behind them.
What's amazing about the prequels is that it's star-studded.
Yeah.
Like versus
He got
this
a
one,
lot of good people in
versus
it.
this one where it's a very good cast that they have for the new
Right.
for the new movies. But there are some relative unknowns in like lead roles. Like John Boyega is not a household name. He was in Attack the Block, but people don't like know who he is.
Right.
Daisy Ridley, this is her first film role.
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o may have won awards, but like it's all sort of smaller, really good actors.
Mm-hmm.
In that one, they were like, let's get Samuel L. Jackson and
Yeah.
Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor and tell them to do a bad job.
Yeah.
Let's get Academy Award winner Natalie Portman and say, just fuck everything up.
Don't
Just
have any
just
emotion.
don't emote. I need more backgrounds of weird buildings.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
We have derailed.
We have.
Last Jedi.
So, again, The Last Jedi, like, I thought that, some of the humor was odd to me. Like, I thought that the very first, the scene with...
Ooh, yeah. Let's get into it. First scene.
yeah, does it start with Daisy Ridley and Luke? Does it start
No.
with the guy
It
making
starts
the
with
conference
the
call
guy
to
making
the
a
Weasley
conference
twin?
call to Domhnall Gleeson's General Huck's character.
That was jarring. I thought.
That was
the
so
tone of that
jarring.
seemed like a joke from The Office or something.
I was concerned, like when I heard people didn't like it, because I did see it after people said that they didn't like it. I was really concerned after that first scene because the humor flat out did not work for me in that one. The first scene is they're trying. It takes place right after the end.
Yeah.
Of The Force Awakens, and they're just trying to get off that planet that they were on as the Empire finds out where they are, and they're gonna, or the First Order, everything's the same, finds out where they are, and they try to
It's like poetry, Tim.
take them
It
down.
rhymes.
It rhymes. They try to take them down, and then hunk man, beautiful boy, Oscar Isaac flies up, and he's like, I have a message from General Organa for the Empire. We need to discuss something. And General Hux is like, okay, patch him through. We're going to kill him anyway. And then he just pretends that they're on like a conference call, and like the audio doesn't match up because he's stalling and waiting for his thing to load so he can go fast. And then it was just weird.
I love
And then
it.
he made a Yo Mama joke, and it's just like, what the fuck is this movie? What
liked
is
it.
right off the bat happening in this movie?
I liked it.
That could have been the
I like
dawn
the
of
movie
the
a
Yo
lot.
Mama joke boom a long time ago in a galaxy far,
That's
far
right.
away.
Well,
you
that's
know,
my
there's no-
question.
He
is
gets
it's-
credit for it.
It brings in it brings in things where it's just like, I know that because I live on Earth and am a human where conference calls are a thing.
Right.
But like, is that a thing there where where in the Star Wars universe they're also like, ah, geez, this is just not working out. Hit the mute button. Is it muted? Like.
I'm
It just
fine with
it definitely felt jarring. I think jarring is the word I would use
Yeah.
for it, because I was just like, what? Because to open a movie like that, I think that I
thought it was a great way for a new director coming in to shake things up and be like, okay, you guys wanted something different. I'm making something different for you from the word go.
But different doesn't mean good. and I didn't think that was a good joke.
I thought
and like the beginning of Force Awakens, Poe Dameron has a funny line where him and Kylo Ren are like face to face. And they were waiting, and he's just like, so who talks first? You talk or I talk?
Yeah.
And that's like just a quick, goofy, funny line that he does, and then we're right back into the shit.
Sure.
And this one was just like
Not a bit.
okay, it's minute and a half of this bit. Like, are we actually? And then it launches into a very exciting action
That
sequence.
first action
and I'm like,
sequence
oh
was awesome.
shit, here we go. And I was immediately back into it, but I was just like, that first part was weird, right? Thinking back, that first part was a weird choice, right? Like, of anything to do, I thought it was an odd, like, we're really gonna hop onto the yes, I'll hold.
It was very like Mike
Yes,
Myers.
I'm waiting for you, waiting for your mama. Haha, hit it, BB-8. Roar! Jarring.
Yeah. Okay.
Jarring.
Overall, what did we think
Of the movie?
Yeah.
I think it was it's what a blockbuster is going to be, you know.
Yeah.
It was for 2.5 hours. I felt like it was a little long.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, I've thought about it a lot more because I knew I was going to do this, so I needed to have my takes on it. Otherwise, I probably would have walked out.
Are they hot?
Oh, they're hot.
Ooh.
Wait, otherwise you probably would have walked out.
No, I wouldn't. I would have walked out and not thought about it very much.
Oh,
after that.
God.
There it is.
Ooh.
No,
Ooh.
walking out was not something I was considering. I sat there and I enjoyed it. But then since I was going to be forced to nitpick, I thought I found some nits to pick.
Exactly.
I sat through Justice League. I made it through this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Was
it's
there,
fine.
other than some of the humor not landing with you that well or feeling somewhat out of place, was there anything that was glaring in the movie that you were like, well, this doesn't really work?
Yeah.
And not even as like in a Star Wars movie, but just as a film too, because as a Star Wars fan, I loved the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It has its faults, of course, because it's a film. It's not perfect. But I also just thought it was a really solid movie. Like, from beginning to end, it was a little bit long, but there was so much going on, and there was, like, scene after scene, I was engaged. There was never a point where I was like, oh, I'm bored.
Yeah. The part that I'm guessing this is probably something that is not an original opinion, but the quest to go to the casino
Canto
planet
Bite.
to get a
Yeah.
guy who's like the best guy in the world, which was
And they don't find that guy, and then they find
then they
a
find
different
another guy and take him with them.
and they take him with them, and
so
then they go to another thing.
In my research, I learned that Benicio del Toro's character, who they find, his name. Do you know his name? His name is DJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's all you have Star Wars characters like Kit Fisto and Mon Mothma,
That's the funniest thing ever.
and then this guy
DJ.
is DJ.
What's up? I'm DJ.
So maybe it's
You know, a character name you can trust.
so
Everyone else's name, Boppo Gaboopy
Or Poe.
or Poe.
So that's slightly that was funny, I thought, and obviously I feel like he's coming back because you wouldn't get a big actor if he
He
wasn't. gonna
better
be part
come
of
back
it.
because what the fuck was that character otherwise?
But at
it
the
was
same
just like it was
time-
just like I'm gonna be a guy with a tick who knocks and like
Right.
occasionally
Occasionally
stutters and I'll
lisps,
be in
yeah.
it for 2 minutes and ruin everything.
True.
And then go home.
It
It's
did-
just like you better come back in the next one, man.
It did strike me as like if someone was in their third acting class, they're like, listen, you can't just come out there and talk like you normally do.
He's just like,
you gotta have a thing.
Ooh, I'll do a
Add
thing where I
character
knock
thing.
on shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing, Benicio?
I'm the
What are
kind
you
of guy that,
doing?
like goes like this every now and then.
That's
flick
exactly
my
what it
eyelid.
was. He was just like, I didn't get a fucking Oscar nod for Sicario, so I'm gonna go all out here.
So
I
I thought-
didn't mean to.
So yeah, I thought that was a very weird diversion since it didn't really.
Yeah, I didn't.
you know.
I didn't love that that storyline because it didn't ultimately pay off very much.
Well, I think that that's a big complaint that people have is that
Yeah.
it feels like it doesn't pay off because in the end they get betrayed by Benicio del Toro and that entire like through line of them going there was they failed.
Yeah.
But failure is like a really big theme in this movie. Like
Yes.
it's like one of the I think I would call it the theme of the movie is you will fail and it's how you react to that failure
Right.
that determines
There were
whether or not
several
you
moments
actually failed.
when I wasn't entirely sure they were going to get away. I was
Mm.
like, is Ryan Johnson's just going to shut this all down?
He's just like, there's no episode 9. I killed
Mic drop.
everybody. How'd you like that?
And spoilers, obviously, but when Leia's ship is destroyed and she is floating out there in space, Carrie Fisher died after this film was completed, and everybody knows that. But I was
Wait.
really worried.
Wait!
I know, it's hard.
No!
I was really worried that that's how they got her out of the story.
yeah, I
and I was
assumed
like,
that.
don't you fucking do that.
No.
I
You
didn't
just
think-
let her float around in space and die?
In retrospect, they probably should have floated her around in space and died because they had 3 main actors come back, and the one that they were having stay till the last movie is the one who died.
Yeah.
Ooh, bad luck, Star Wars.
So now they're going to have to do the Poochie died on the way back to her home planet sort of thing in between this
yeah,
and the
that's what they're
off
gonna do.
moment.
They're just gonna
That's
be
what
like,
they did to Admiral Akbar.
Well, yeah, they just said, everyone, Admiral Akbar, they're all dead. I was just like, wait a minute.
He is?
Oh man, he didn't even have a line.
I wanted him to say it's a trap again.
Ugh. I wanted just him like as he's being sucked into. It was a trap.
And then we
That's
could
what he
all
does.
applaud quietly and be like, thank you.
Yes,
That's all we needed.
I understood the reference you gave me.
What about the Rey and Luke stuff?
I have one more thing to say about Canto Bight, just real quick.
Please.
That's the casino.
The casino island. There's one sequence in the movie that I hated, and it was when they let the
Horses go?
horses free and had them just kind of barrage through
Yeah.
a casino. That felt like it came straight out of Attack of the Clones. It felt like it was just like, oh, I have no connection to anything when it's just CGI horses I've never met destroying CGI buildings
Yep.
and things. And it's just like, okay, well, there's the weirdly shoehorned in, we should be nice to animals
Right, yeah.
part of the movie.
She said, like, now it was all worth
now
it.
it was all worth it because they are friends. It's just like, wait a minute, what is happening? You know they're gonna easily round them up and kill them, right?
Yeah. Just because they ran through a building, now they're going to be more pissed off. And
It's
they're
like,
gonna treat
guys,
them worse.
we did it. We knocked down one building in Las Vegas. Everything's gonna be fine. That's a planet. That's a casino. They're gonna be okay. You didn't change anything.
The money they lost in that one, somebody dropped out of their jeans in their room the night before.
They're
so
just like,
they're
oh,
fine.
they're just gonna make the children who they enslave fix the casino,
made their lives
so
a
it's
lot
even
worse.
sadder.
The slavery
It's the
aspect.
saddest thing.
Forgot about that.
There's
didn't we?
no like happiness for anyone on that planet.
No. It's all bad news.
That
guys.
was weird and that was bad and I didn't like. I was like sitting there watching it happen and I was just like, oh my god, they're legitimately doing like a 2-minute free the bulls scene. Weird. I thought it was weird. I was weirded out by that, and there's just things that just like snatch you out, and you're just, there are a fair amount of just like what moments in this movie, and some of them work, and some of them are just like, wait, is this a movie that I'm watching? Like the Carrie Fisher Superman thing, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it.
But if they followed up on it, and I don't know if they were planning on following up on the next movie, because spoiler alert, you're not going to be able to.
Right.
But
I mean, that's the problem. Canonically, in like literature and things like that, it is established that after Return of the Jedi, Leia began some Jedi training, but couldn't follow through with it. So
Wow.
she has like rudimentary.
I mean, she's
basic
always been
force
force
powers.
sensitive. You see it in the original trilogy. You
Right.
see her like Luke didn't die. Like that's like her power is just like
She has a
Luke didn't
connection,
die.
yeah.
He's good. And then we don't see any force anything from her.
What is the canon
And then
that you-
suddenly she's just like Superman flying through the air, and I'm like, okay, cool. She's force sensitive. That means she's got crazy force powers. Can't wait to see that turn into literally anything at all in this movie. Nope, she's just in a coma the rest of the time. I just would have wished that they followed up on it.
At least
if
you
you're
didn't
gonna
lose
do,
the will to live.
yeah, if you're gonna do Natalie Portman. She died of being a woman. That's what she died of in the prequels. She died because she was emotional while having babies. Just like George. But that's what if you're gonna do a genuinely, because you can't call it anything other, a fucking crazy moment like that.
Yeah.
You have to have a reason for it. And I didn't think that I think that if they were planning on it for the next one, bummer if
Yeah.
that was your plan. But like for this sole contained movie, I'm still kind of left with like, okay, but what was that
Yeah.
for? What did that serve other than keeping her alive?
And sadly, we'll never know.
I want to know what the canon is that filled you in that she was training in the Force.
IMDb.
Oh.
Books and shit.
Books and
All those
shit.
goddamn books
Yeah.
that they wrote.
Okay.
I mean, there's novels
Which you haven't
and
actually
comics and
read
stuff.
though.
No, I read
Okay.
that in the IMDb trivia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
But I also kind of intuited that like, okay, so she's obviously force sensitive in the original trilogy. So her being able to use the force for something as simple as pull.
Mhm.
I mean, Rey was able to do stuff like that without any kind of training
Sure.
in Force Awakens. So I just took from that if you are attuned to the force in a moment of high stress, kind of like Harry Potter, when he makes the glass disappear and then the snake comes out, it just kind of happens by accident.
I'm
So she was
Hogwarts
like,
sensitive.
oh shit, and then she was able to bring herself back in.
It didn't bother me at all watching it. I was just sort of like, listen, I'm watching, there's a squid
Look,
who's giving her
exactly.
instructions here. So
Look.
my disbelief has been
Exactly.
thoroughly suspended.
Look, I just watched Mark Hamill choke down on some milk right from the source.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was weird.
This
That
is
was-
not
that
weird.
was weird.
What I'm
That
watching
was
now
something
is
I
not
appreciated.
weird.
Like the day in the life
That
of
was
Luke the
just
farmer.
They did not go far enough. No, a lot of people are like, no, yeah.
What do
yes,
you want?
They did not go far enough. If
Oh,
you're going to
no.
show shit like, if you're going to be like, he cultivates on this island and he drinks milk and he's freaking out Rey, you got to have him put his face right up on that titty and that's what he's got. That's what you need
This is
from that
Disney.
scene. Oh,
Disney's
boo,
not gonna do
boo
that.
fucking who? This is Disney.
They're
Oh,
never
He
gonna
did
do
like
that.
sort of look at her as he drank it. Like it was a very defiant, like, yeah.
Just look at this blue milk.
you gonna drink this? I don't think so. You'll never get the force. It's just what? You
Yeah, all that
have
stuff
a weird
was
way
little,
of showing me.
So
a little wonky.
So Luke moved there. Was my takeaway.
Yeah.
from it. He
Yeah.
moved there because he
Was sad.
thought about killing a guy.
he thought about
He thought about
And
killing
then
Hitler,
Kylo Ren.
and then didn't.
essentially, and then
Yeah.
didn't.
and then didn't.
But then was like,
I was like, probably should have killed Hitler.
so did he move there because he was upset that he didn't kill him, or
Well-
that he was disgraced because he did?
He was disgraced that he did,
But,
and he thought the
but also
Jedi should
both.
die anyway,
Yes,
and
it's,
all
it's,
this.
It's the many. I did appreciate that. That thread of the storyline that we think we know why Kylo Ren destroyed all the Jedi.
Mhm.
And Luke tells us why, but then we also find out from Kylo Ren's perspective that it was a miscommunication across the way, and
Kylo Ren. Oh,
it just everything got fucked up because Luke saw darkness in him and was like, "Well, I should extinguish this darkness," but then he's like, "I shouldn't." But as he's thinking, "I shouldn't,"
Right.
Kylo wakes up and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right, and he
which
blows everything up.
is some sitcom bullshit. It's just like, oh, I walked in on my husband making out with another woman. I'm gonna run away. No, let me explain. That's the whole plot for the next 20 minutes. No, just let him explain.
Luke had crossed over the masking tape line down
Yes.
the Jedi Training Center where they
Yes.
had divided the chores in the.
You can't. This is my side. I'm Kylo Ren. This is my.
Get
hut.
out of here, Uncle Luke.
Yeah. I wish he would have.
You wish you would have killed Kylo.
So
No.
what did you guys think about the main villain? Because that was my other nitpick with the whole thing.
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Supreme
this
Leader
is
Snoke.
this is a point of goddamn contention among every single individual human person who has watched this movie. So Supreme Leader Snoke in the first movie, we don't meet him. We see him as a hologram. We understand that he
A big projection.
has somehow is leading the First Order, the new empire. He's incredibly powerful in the Force. He trained Kylo Ren. From what we learn in The Force Awakens, he's the one who seduced Kylo Ren to the dark
Is
side.
that how you seduce?
Seduce?
Good lord.
For those of you not watching, I'm doing a real sexy thing. Seduced
No,
him
he
to the
is
dark side.
not.
And so from that, a lot of people, and this is a problem with fandom and fan culture.
Of course.
Speculated the mother ever living fuck out of a character we didn't know a lot about.
Right.
And so the expectation going into this movie is he the amalgamation of all evil in the Force? Is he
It's a good,
like a burnt
conclusion to jump
like
to.
a burnt version of like this character from this movie, or like is he Darth Plagueis the Wise, who manifested
that
from
up?
the Force? No. Have you not heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. You guys gotta get up on your prequel meme
Wikipedia.
game
Oh,
because
Darth
so
Plagueis.
everyone was speculating that he was like this big bad, and I think I do have an issue with what they chose to do with him, but it doesn't come from some crazy fan thing. What they ultimately did, and which is kind of brilliant and kind of tremendously frustrating, was Rian Johnson. Well, here's the thing, and here's what explains a whole lot of the decisions that were made in this movie. They weren't like, okay, we're gonna make a new trilogy. This is our plan for the trilogy.
Right.
They were like, we're going to make a new trilogy. J.J. Abrams, you got the first one. And he made the first one. And then he was just like, okay, Rian Johnson, I have no plan from here. You do the next two.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Oh, wow. So it's
That's
sort of
what
like
all-
Lost.
So,
J.J. Abrams is...
so basically, what
Coming
ended
it
up,
up as he goes
does
along.
something really neat.
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
what ended up
Solve that.
happening...
Yeah.
What ended up happening was Rian Johnson looks at the script and looks at what Force Awakens has to give for him, and he's like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And so, for that reason, from Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, there's some things that aren't matching up
Right.
with in terms of like expectation and what a movie seems to be setting up.
Right.
And that's both a good and a bad thing, I think, because on one hand, it allows an artist to be like, fuck J.J. Abrams, he has some bad ideas sometimes, and it also creates this kind of lack of cohesion, and that ultimately is my main complaint, is that this movie is different, and that's a good thing, but it's too different from the one that came just before it.
Right.
So it just doesn't feel like I think that 8 to 9 will help a lot because Rian Johnson wrote both of those.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So this is now his story.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will see the conclusion of his story instead of just like a stilted like nonsense that we're getting. Because and I think my first like god damn it moment of the movie was when big moment at the end of The Force Awakens. Rey arrives on the island, finds Luke Skywalker after all these years, handing over the lightsaber. Dramatic music plays. Cut to credits. John Williams music. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? She gives him the lightsaber at the beginning of The Last Jedi, and he fucking tosses it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck it, I don't care, and then walks away. That undercuts
All of it.
everything. So now when you go back and watch The Force Awakens, you watch that final moment and there's swelling music and you're all like, oh, this is all bullshit. Like all this swelling music and emotion is bullshit because I know he's just going to fucking toss it over his shoulder.
Right.
I'm fine with him not rejecting it, handing it back to her. That would have been fine. But him just going like, whoop,
Yeah.
was just like, okay, what are we, like, Ryan, talk to JJ. Talk to each other, guys.
I think the trouble was Force Awakens was a gamble because can we bring back Star Wars after the prequels? Will anybody be okay with it? Force Awakens works, it's great, but again, there's no 1, 2, 3. It's let's hope this works, and then when it did work, they're like, great, Ryan, what do you got? And he's like, I don't know.
Shit, what?
He's like, I was supposed to write something? Oh shit. Yeah. What about the Kylo and Rey stuff? What do you think about their connection with each other? And
I thought it was cool. The
Their fight
editing
scene
was
was
really
really
the
great.
editing, and then the score underneath. I thought those sequences were some of the best ones because it's very hard to have a sequence where two people who are not in the same room and are different fucking backgrounds when you're editing between them.
Yeah.
Like they never showed them until that last final moment that they had. They never show them like sharing a space. It's always it's like shot of Rey, island background, shot of Kylo in a dark spaceship. And so that normally would feel jarring.
Right.
Like from a film 101 how to make a movie perspective. Like,
Bright dark,
Like
bright
don't
dark.
break the 180 rule even.
Yeah.
Like is like a big thing. But with this one they were just like, fuck it. We're just going to show two completely dissonant places. And it fucking worked. It like really worked really well for me. Like them talking. And I was like, ooh, this is a new thing they're introducing.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. It's not weird. I'm not weirded up by it. This is cool.
Yeah,
This
it
is
seemed
nice.
natural. And I thought that, like, at their final battle, I thought that was the end. I thought that was where we were wrapping up. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
before we went to Weird Salt Planet. type
Oh,
of thing,
God,
but,
yeah.
Salt
I felt-
We'll
Planet
talk
Hoth.
about Salt Planet in a little bit because if
Well,
I
we
ha-
won't
but-
because we're almost out of time.
So
but
during
we will.
the thing that bugged me
Apparently we
about the villains
yeah.
was that the Supreme Chancellor,
Mm-hmm.
like, never got out of his chair.
Yeah.
Like the most evil being.
The most
the
evil
world.
motherfucker doesn't stand.
Like that was the. It just didn't really
Also-
capture the
That's the
gravitas of Darth
That's the thing,
Vader.
is he didn't need to.
And
Is he
like-
was so powerful. He shows up as a hologram and then just throws around
He was sitting in
Domhnall
a chair
Gleeson.
in the hologram.
He was
Yeah.
just sitting in a
He
chair
looked
in the
like the
hologram.
Lincoln
He was
Memorial.
just throwing people around with his mind.
And so that was a hard. That was like I was like, well, he's not
Like, I
into the
get why
canon
they-
of Darth
I
Vader.
get why they killed him. He couldn't
Here.
even stand up.
Yeah. And he died sitting. I don't know.
He died sitting down. He
Also-
died doing what he loved, sitting the fuck down.
It could have been a squatty potty, actually. All
Hey,
along. That's-
Squatty Potty, a fine product.
What you didn't learn was that Supreme Leader Scope had a horrible case of IBS, and that was not a throne room. That was a toilet. He
that was
needed
his
it.
personal throne.
They cut him in half, and you don't want to know what came out of the middle there. Oh, boy.
I did think it was a little strange that he was able to be taken down using the Force while he was using the Force on the guy who then used the Force. And like, I mean, if you really think about it, like in the abstract of like, oh well, blah blah, it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, all right, you're in his head. How are you not able to see? Okay, now turn the lightsaber.
Turn the lightsaber.
All right, get
Turn
it in
it.
position.
Okay,
and I'm not
move over.
listening to you.
Don't do anything
I'm
untoward.
not listening to you.
It was also
and button.
it was also very like heavy-handed dialogue where like the lightsaber's turning and he's just like and he's about to kill Rey is what he's telling him to do, and he's like, destroy the person who's standing in the way of making you the person that you want to be moving forward from here. Oh my God, it was me and not Rey.
He probably thought he was safe
Whoa.
because he was never standing.
What?
Oh, he did say
Yeah.
standing.
He was like, that's a bullshit technicality, Kylo. I
How
have not
dare you.
stood
I
in
was
5
sitting.
years.
I would have liked for them. I do think I would have liked for them to wrap up then.
Yeah.
They do that crazy fucking awesome clone like
oh, that fight was
with
great.
with the like the red,
red
guards who were just like, oh fuck,
You just killed
like they must have been just like, oh shit.
It'd be like a security guard at the Vermont teddy bear factory
just
being
like,
like, what the fuck?
what
we
the
have
fuck? Oh,
an
shit.
active shooter? Like,
Oh,
no.
God.
I took this job so I could listen to podcasts.
I thought I was in this. I'm in the Snoke throne room.
Yeah.
He can throw people around with his mind. He does not need me.
and then all of a sudden they
And
have
then
to
it's just
turn
like,
it on.
Oh,
and they're just like,
fuck, oh shit! I better pull out my fucking weird lightsaber nunchuck. Like they all had weird weapons that could block lightsabers. It was all just very strange. But the color red looks really cool, you
Yeah.
guys. The
It's
color red is
very
a
cool color.
If I learned one thing from watching this movie, woo!
Red on
what
white?
a cool color
better.
that red is.
yeah.
Salt Planet.
The Salt Planet.
Also
skirmish.
red.
Which was great because it's a white planet in the second movie in a trilogy. I really appreciated that they had a scene dedicated to a guy going, this is salt, not snow. It's not off.
Yes.
This isn't like
Thank
the
you.
last one. This is salt.
And is it a
It's
well-known
salt.
Is it a well-known property that salt turns red when
Yeah,
stuff
salt
happens to
turns
it?
red and cool as shit when
I've been
on a
using the
when,
wrong
when
salt.
a
That's
full
come.
planet.
Wow.
The salt planet was fine. But there's a thing that happened on the salt planet that is the thing that forever for me.
What if Jabba the Hutt had gone to the salt
no
planet?
one great.
That would have been awesome.
Bad Jabba, no bother.
Make that a prequel.
Salacious
Haha,
Crumb.
guys, we got it's cargo.
Salacious Crumb was like, all right, well, I'm out.
Yeah.
There's
turn to
one there's one moment on the salt planet and in the whole movie. Everything else that I disliked, I not all the humor hit for me.
Yeah.
And so there was awkward in places, and the Canobite sequence was a little long and didn't feel like it paid off that well. But I can forgive those things because I'm generally entertained with the movie. There's one thing that happened in the movie that pissed me the fuck off, and it was when Rose saved Finn from flying
Yes.
into the thing and then has the stupidest line I've ever fucking heard in a movie, which was, "We don't win by killing the things we hate. We win by saving the things we love." And then directly behind them, a giant gun is killing the things that they love.
Yeah. Can we focus a little bit here, Rose?
Especially that she says Finn is about. First of all, what this movie has to say about self-sacrifice fucking does a 180 in 20 minutes because Laura Dern's character in this movie does a fucking badass cool thing.
Yes.
Where she uses hyperspeed to kill basically an entire Empire fleet.
Yeah.
Which was cool as shit.
Pretty much did that.
Yeah.
On the painting.
Self-sacrifice.
Through the,
Yeah. These are actually. This is
death
actually a
cruiser,
really
the
good
Dreadnought.
representation.
Kalani, well done.
Wow, that's what she did. I get art now.
Tangrammed the shit out of it.
But she does this really cool thing, and she sacrifices herself to save people and to kill a lot of people in the Empire. 20 minutes later, Finn is about to sacrifice himself to save his friends and kill a big part of the Empire. And fucking Rose just comes diving in and does a move that could have easily killed both of them.
Yeah. That was such a stupid move.
That's stupid. That is
was very
stupid,
stupid.
and it's a 180 on a lesson you told me 20 minutes ago, and it's a line that makes me want to punch screens.
Also, remember how they met like 3 days ago?
I'm in love with you. Bye.
And then I'm sure he was like, "Ooh."
He was really
I
surprised by
think
that
we're
kiss
just
too.
friends.
He was just like, all right, Mr. Weinstein, I did not want that kiss. That was not what I wanted.
It was a nice
Topical
180 from the other
humor.
famous movie Rose, though, of not letting him onto the platform at the end of Titanic.
I'll never let go.
That would have been a
I'll
better.
never let go, Finn.
Yeah. I'm saving the name here. I'm taking it back.
Yeah. although I bet if you played Celine
yes.
Dion over the sequence of him doing it and then her saving him.
There is a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Made Better with Titanic or something.
Oh, yeah.
But they take moments like those from films and then they put the Celine Dion song on them perfectly timed. I highly recommend looking
There was
at it.
a playoff grand slam in Game 4 of the Washington Nationals Cubs series that when I came back from dinner after that game happened, someone had Titanic-ified that one.
Nice.
And I was playing it so loud that our downstairs neighbor banged on the same. It really makes a lot of things
Just
better.
like, stop watching your fucking romance movies. And you're like, it's sports, I swear.
I promise it's
It's a sports thing. One major thing that we have not yet talked about, which we should talk about, Yoda makes an appearance in this movie.
Ooh, everybody's
Yoda
favorite.
That was
comes
a
back,
surprise.
which was a
Voiced and
surprise.
puppeted by Frank Oz.
By Frank Oz.
Has he not been voicing him?
No,
There was
well,
a dispute?
he
I don't
was still voicing him, but since
In the prequels, he voiced him.
Attack of the Clones, he
He's
had
been
been CGI.
CGI.
Yes.
And
And
He'd
since
also
They were
retired.
doing
and
this
since,
with a puppet.
he had
and
also
since-
retired in 2006.
and let's be
from
real,
puppeteering.
the first shot of Yoda is not a puppet, and it was jarring.
Ha.
Yeah.
There's the first shot of him is like a very CGI Yoda, and I was like, oh no. And then Luke goes and sits down with him, and it's a puppet, and I'm like, oh thank God. Why did you do that first one? Don't scare me like that.
Ryan, what are you doing to us?
Yoda shows up, and he has some goofy lines. He has some fun goofy lines
Yeah.
that are also pretty modern. It kind of he has a line that kind of felt like that first scene where it was like it feels strangely like Earth modern,
Right.
where he was just like, the Jedi texts, not page turners they are, and it's just like, all right, buddy.
Hey, you know what?
All right.
Maybe he's gotten a sense of humor in
Also,
his
I
1,000
didn't know 1,000-year dead Force ghosts can bring lightning down from the sky and
That's
destroy
something we're learning.
and destroy something that Luke was gonna destroy anyway.
Well, his point was, oh, you think you're doing a great thing here. Well, watch. There, I did it. It's done. You're not doing anything great. Also, what we learned from that scene was perhaps once you become a Force ghost, you're not just a ghost. You can still continue to interact
So that
with
just
the
means
material
that they're
world.
gonna have Luke do all the Leia stuff that they plan for in the next movie
More
as
than
a Force
likely.
ghost. Yeah.
More than likely.
But what I did like, he has a phenomenal couple of lines towards the end of that scene. I do think that they could have just had Luke burn it down and then go sit with him and be like, "What have I done?" And then Yoda be like, "No, you did the right thing. That was a good thing."
Well, this
Like,
way he's
I'm your
taking the
master.
guilt off of it.
But I think that he's talking about like the burden of masters in it,
Right.
and like and how you can't control what the people who you teach. are going to be doing, and that has to do with Kylo Ren, that has to do with Rey, it has to do with Yoda about Luke, and so I think that it would have worked thematically for Luke to destroy it and then kind of feel bad and then have his master show up and be like, no, I, the person who taught you, am here to say you did the right thing.
Right.
Instead, they did a weird, like, lightning from the sky, Yoda moment, where I was just like, whoa, I didn't know. Oh, God, this brings up a lot of things. Why didn't Force Yoda show up on the Salt Planet and just go, Kylo Ren destroyed with my lightning bolt beam? He doesn't sound like that. I'm doing a bad Yoda impression.
Terrible Yoda impression.
Hello!
That's not Yoda.
Judge me by my size, do you?
I think that's a different movie.
I think the Yoda was banging the non-caretakers of the island.
Yoda
That's my head.
Yoda's getting busy with those turtle face things.
Oh, well, the porgs are just like, what the fuck? Ah!
We're afraid of everything.
I like that scene where Chewbacca became a vegan.
Yeah. Out of guilt.
That was very much the
like,
drunk
look.
guy looks at the bottle and like,
What have I
throws it over his shoulder.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Porgs, how do we feel about porgs? That's
I think
kind of
they're fucking
contentious.
great.
They were kind of a non-entity.
Yeah.
I thought they were adorable.
I think they were toys
Yeah.
that I watched in a movie. I think I watched a bunch of dolls.
I'll probably
they
own
were
one
like,
soon.
all right, this movie's great, Ryan, but what we don't have is a lot of small
Merchandising.
things that we can sell to children. Okay, well, we'll just have a scene where they're just
There's
like,
a bunch of fucking puffins around, so let's do that.
That's the noise they make. It's
'Cause they're
very
afraid.
annoying.
They're afraid. Please continue to do it. Final
I
thoughts
won't.
before
I
we
won't.
jump into trivia
won't.
on The Last Jedi.
I'll go see the movies. I think it sort of is, the fact that there's another one coming out in like 3 months where they fired the directors and have insinuated that the
That's
guy
gonna be a
needed acting
fucking
lessons.
nightmare.
It's
gonna be
sort
rough.
of- it's sort of like
we all ready for Solo, a Star Wars story?
It's gonna be rough.
it sort of cheapens the experience to have just we're gonna keep cranking these out.
Yeah.
But as long as they can tell a good story and
Right.
these are very competent.
I
They're
didn't
not
love Rogue
Transformers, so
One,
that's great for me.
but there's another Star Wars movie that I can watch, so I'm happy about
Right.
it.
Yeah, I think that it's representative of a lot of different things of what blockbuster cinema has turned into. This movie. While there were some fun original things that were being done with it, I think that ultimately like the humor and like the length and all the spectacle of it it felt very samey with popular cinema, and I would have liked it to be a bit more. I hate that I would have liked it to be a bit more Star Wars. It felt a lot like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like they were very jokey, they were very quippy, and that's fine, and that works. And I like the Guardians movies, but it's just like I wanted a bit more. I think what I wanted wasn't
more
what I got,
gravitas.
and I can at least I'm not one of those people who's like, well I wanted this and I got this, and so I'm mad and I'm gonna write a petition and I'm gonna say that it's women that's ruining the series. Kathleen Kennedy, it's her fault. What? No. It's
Lunacy.
good. It's a good movie. It's a good blockbuster. It's like entertaining. It's well acted. Some of the action sequences are really, really good.
Really
like
good,
that
yeah.
first space sequence. And then the fight in the throne room was really good. It is a little long.
Kylo and Luke's fight is pretty great, too.
Kylo and Luke's fight is pretty good. Interesting fun fact. There's only one moment, and it's in a flashback very quickly, that a lightsaber touches another lightsaber in this movie.
'Cause he
There's
just
no
said
tip to tip
lightsaber
or,
fight. Tip to tip, baby. Unless,
I think that the more they are, the less we have to like parse them like they're like ancient text handed down
Exactly,
and
yeah.
like, revere them. So it's like I'm all for anything that makes us do that less as a society.
if you liked Rogue One better than this, you're wrong.
Yes.
You know?
Agreed.
Like, that's the movie that you should get mad at for being fan servicey,
'Cause
and,
that one's
and,
just
and
not
a
well
lot
made.
of effort put into
Yeah.
it.
I really
this
enjoyed
one was
The
great.
Last Jedi. I liked it even more than Force Awakens. It's not perfect, but it has a lot of really great stuff to it. And the analogy that I came up with when the film first came out was that when Force Awakens came out, everybody said that it was too samey. So let's say Star Wars is like a cheeseburger and fries. It's nostalgic. You love it. It's comfort food. So Force Awakens comes out, and it's like a gourmet cheeseburger and fries. People are like, it's good. I like gourmet burgers, but it's still a burger and fries. So then Ryan Johnson's like, all right, here's lasagna. And everybody's like, where's my goddamn cheeseburger? It's like, you said you didn't want a cheeseburger. It's still food. It's still really good.
It's delicious.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm deathly allergic to lasagna.
Sorry.
And he told me, he didn't even, he was just like, this is a cheeseburger.
He never said it was a cheeseburger.
When
I
the
know.
ingredients are combined.
What
that
I'm
triggers
saying
the
is I don't
allergy,
like
or
your metaphor.
I know you don't like my metaphor, and I don't like your face.
See?
Okay.
Look at this. This is mean.
It's time
I
for
just
trivia.
take down the things that you've loved for 40 years. You don't take down my face.
I'm not 40.
I've had that for
Knock the thing off the table.
I'm not. That's what you focus on. That's what the focus is.
Hey,
Cool.
I'm not 40.
I'm not 40.
Anyway, it is time for trivia. We will be playing specifically about The Last Jedi, and
right.
you will be playing for a $10 gift certificate to Onyx Tonics.
Wow.
So, who would like to come up
You
and
can
play
get
against
two
these two yahoos?
coffees.
Oh, we're playing against them?
Yes. It's going to be Tim
Oh, yeah,
and
you haven't been
Connor
on this.
against an audience member. Trigg.
Oh, we have a very reluctant hand in the back.
Daniel Trigg
A
coming on up.
We have a hand that says no one else's hand is going up.
So I guess I'll do it. Daniel Trigg coming on
This
up
is
to
Daniel.
join us
This is Daniel Trigg.
Hello, welcome.
Did you just welcome us?
to our own program.
We've been here for an hour.
Yeah, I haven't been.
Yeah. All right, so you two will be
Welcome.
sharing a microphone.
Sounds
so
good.
make sure you get right up in the mouth there.
Get
so
right up on
we
your
can
mouth.
Hear you in podcast
Get
land.
right up on your mouth like you're an aardvark, a sea aardvark, and you provide milk
Like
for a
Yoda
Jedi.
on one of those caretaker nuns.
Yeah.
like you're.
exactly.
Those caretaker nuns were hilarious, and it came right after a very dramatic scene.
It
It was like the most dramatic scene in the movie, where Kylo Ren and Rey are about to touch, and then Luke is like, "No," and the house gets destroyed. And smash cut to two like little lizard nuns just going. It's very silly.
It is very silly.
It really rips you around this movie.
Willow.
What?
Like those characters reminded me like it's like George Lucas is like, listen, I want to put these characters in somewhere, in Willow, but I can't. So we'll save them for later.
So we'll save him for later. And that was
Maybe
his
a
one.
Star Wars movie.
That was his one stipulation when he sold it for $4 billion. He was just like, "You
I
gotta,
got these nuns.
These weird frog nuns.
you just gotta
It's
find
like
a
when
way."
you
to-
leave a house to your cats. Like, they come with it.
And I leave Star Wars to the turtle nuns.
No, honestly, go ahead. Kill Han Solo. Kill Luke Skywalker. Cast a woman and a black guy. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't really care, just as long as those fucking nuns
Get
are
their
in the
due.
movie.
All right, so
I wanted to do a whole spin-off.
Yeah, me too.
Just Frog Nuns,
Frog
a Star
Nuns and
Wars
DJ.
story. Get Ron Howard on the phone.
Oh no,
Get
busy.
Get two directors, fire them, and get Ron Howard on the phone.
So I need well, before we do that, we have to play this. Because it's time to play trivia. I need each of you. It's important.
We don't
For
don't
production
act like
sake.
it's tradition.
It is.
You did it.
Place here.
You did
Yeah.
it last episode, and I immediately commented on how it's a ripoff of Who Wants to Be a
Sounded
Millionaire.
That
like
is
he wants
fine.
to be a mayor. So can Tim win this gift card?
Hell yeah, I can.
Well,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
I'm gonna give it to Trigg no matter what.
I need
I don't drink coffee.
I need each of you to make a chime-in noise for when you want to guess the answer. He's gonna click his ring on his glass. Great, that's Connor's noise.
I'll say Bing Bing.
Okay.
'cause it's a friend of mine's catchphrase.
Nice. Trigg is Bing Bing.
I'm gonna say we don't win by
No, you're
violence killing the ones that
not.
we hate.
You're not gonna
We
say
win by
that.
saving the ones that we love.
Just make a stupid noise like you always do. So we can move
I'll
on.
make a porg noise.
All right.
That was good.
That was.
Oh man,
Put it in your act.
I'm gonna fuck it up the rest of the time, but
Great.
I'm gonna
Move
ask
over
for
Michael
that.
Winslow.
So to
That was my
recap,
Michael Winslow impression.
Trigg, what is your noise?
Bing Bing.
Connor, what is your noise? Tim.
I'm getting there.
All right.
I feel like mine's going to be overshadowed.
It might.
Fuck.
Do you want to do a verbal one?
No, I'm committing.
Okay. He's committed. And we got 10 questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do this. Question 1. British princes Harry and William have cameos in this film. What roles do they have? Tim,
They're stormtroopers.
in what scene?
That wasn't the question.
What's in the answer?
They're stormtroopers in the scene where they're stormtroopers.
Point of order.
Yeah.
What? This is
They
not a
actually-
courtroom.
They were actually not in the original version, theatrical version. They were cut from. That's what I read.
I did not read that.
I'm just saying.
And I read discrepancies thereof.
Okay, well, I
Are
don't
they,
know.
are they
Well,
not?
it's hard. It's hard to tell because
They're
they're all
stormtroopers.
It's no Daniel Craig. He didn't have a line.
Exactly.
Were they the stormtroopers when Rose and Finn are being shocked before BB-8?
They are in the scene where DJ is receiving his payment.
Mm.
That was
In
that
that
scene.
big scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Question 2.
His name is DJ.
Nobody won that.
Nobody gets any points.
That's cool.
I'm going to become a DJ, and my DJ name's going to be DJ.
DJ,
my
DJ.
names will have
DJ,
Benicio del
DJ.
Toro's face on them.
DJ, open parentheses, like Benicio del Toro's character in The Last Jedi.
It's a very long title. Question 2. The husky Porkins-like pilot killed at the beginning of the film is rumored to be whom? Connor.
Porkins' son.
Incorrect. Tim.
A porg that made a wish
No.
and became a man. And he's just like,
Do you
and
have
he
a
dies.
guess,
He
Nick?
dies very quickly in this movie.
Jabba's love child? I
No.
have no idea.
It is rumored that was James Corden
What?
in a cameo role.
No. Oh, see, now I'm mad.
It was not him. It was actually the assistant director.
Oh, so it was just like someone saw a fat guy in a movie and was just
White
like,
guy with a
is
beard."
that you, James Corden, at Twitter? And he was just like, no, it hurts
Wow.
my feelings. I wasn't even singing Red Hot Chili Peppers songs.
I'm just glad that the phrase husky Porkins-like character has been said and will be something
Well,
that I
on
never stop
IMDb,
thinking
they
about.
just said the fat pilot, and I was like, that's a little insensitive.
I am looking forward to X-Wing karaoke, though. That's my new.
Oh, man. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
What is that?
Go, just go.
DJ, turn me up in the headphones.
Sure, I will. Sure, I'll do that right away.
Question 3. This and Rogue One hold the distinction of no other Star Wars film. What is
They're
it?
not good. No. No. Sorry, continue. What is it?
What is it?
Oh.
What is the distinction that those two films hold that no other Star Wars film does? Tim.
They don't contain the line, I have a bad feeling about this.
Wow.
Incorrect.
That's a good guess, though.
Any guesses?
You said these were about The Last Jedi, and then
Yeah.
you're bringing in Rogue One?
No, I have no idea. I'm
Uh,
intrigued.
These are the only films where characters have the titular lines. So in Rogue One, they refer to the ship as Rogue One, and in
Oh.
this, he says, I am not the Last Jedi.
Huh.
Titular lines, guys.
They never
They're
say
fun.
the Phantom Menace. That's a weird title.
Because it doesn't
It
make
is.
any fucking
You
sense.
left the
Yeah.
theater being like, what the
Who-
fuck was
Who
was
is
the
the
Phantom
Phantom Menace?
At least Return of the Jedi, there's Luke, he's back, got it. Returned. Made sense.
Clone Wars? There are Clone Wars.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
They're attacking. Oh no.
I still think the Phantom Menace was Yaddle. That's the female Yoda that's like in one of the scenes of.
In one of the council
Yeah.
scenes. Oh my
Yaddle?
god. That is a
Yaddle.
deep cut.
It's
Look her
a
up.
female Yoda?
It's like if you put a wig on. If Yoda was trying to pass as a woman.
Was she was she the Phantom Menace because she kept nagging Yoda?
She was jilted by his affair with the frog nose.
Ugh.
Question 4. Name the blaster weapon related similarity this film has with A New Hope.
What? What is it? Repeat the question.
Name the blaster weapon related similarity this film has with A New Hope. Meaning, a use of a blaster in A New Hope is also done in this, but not done in any other Star Wars film.
The blaster that Laura Dern uses is the same as Leia's blaster.
Did they
I
do the
don't-
thing
I
where
don't
they
know.
click it and then throw it at the villain?
Someone misses.
They were set to stun.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
blue circle. Cool.
Leia shot with stun, and then she shoots Poe with stun.
Do all guns have that?
All blasters do.
Whoa.
And nobody
No,
uses
I'm
it.
talking about guns.
Oh, yeah.
Is there?
Smith
You
and Wesson's a
just
big
shoot a
fan
couple
of the
people.
stunts.
They're like, you just shot a couple people. No, it was set to stun.
They'll wake up eventually. Question 5. BB-8 imitates what Imperial droid while disguised?
Christ on a crutch. Something H. Oh, Bing Bing. H8.
I should clarify. What sound does he imitate?
TIE
Connor.
fighter. TIE fighter.
No. Tim.
I did the sound that he was imitating.
Incorrect. He is imitating a mouse droid. The ones that scurry around on the floor.
Oh yeah.
That's their official name?
Yeah,
Wow.
because they scurry like mice.
These are such nerdy questions.
I like him. Keep going.
Welcome to the podcast, Tim. It's been 50 episodes.
Never been here before.
Name an actor.
Any actor will do.
Charlie Sheen. Fuck.
No, that was 9/11.
That was 9/11.
Question 6. First live action film to break what tradition for the final shot of the film? So this is the first Star Wars live action film to break what tradition in its final shot? Trigg.
It doesn't feature any of the main characters.
More specific.
Any of the Skywalkers.
Correct.
Wow.
He got one.
Wow. Damn.
Is Leia not in the final shot?
No, it's the little kids.
Yeah.
The
Oh
slaves.
yeah. Okay.
It's a little kid who uses the Force to pick up a broom.
Yeah.
The
'Cause he's
post-credit
lazy.
sequence of them being just like whipped was very,
Yeah. If you stayed to the end of the credits.
very jarring, inappropriate. Yeah. No, Jesus.
No, that didn't happen.
Brian Park is very upset. Don't worry. It didn't happen.
That'll
He
teach
does
you to play
wi-
Jedi.
Now go clean the stables, you bitch.
But the stables, the horses are gone. There's nothing to clean. I said clean the stables.
Sweep up the straw that this broom is made out of.
And they use a whip, but like it's got like lights on it because the future
Of course.
or the past, long time ago, far away galaxy.
Question 7. Who has director Ryan Johnson credited with the iconic line, "I have a bad feeling about this"?
Who is he?
Who has he credited?
Yes.
He credited.
Yes.
Oh, BB-8. Bing Bing, BB-8.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says.
Connor, give him the microphone.
Post says, only happy beeps.
Yeah.
And because he supposedly, he goes, wah, 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 whatever the fuck he says.
and that
And it's
means I have a.
supposedly, I have a bad feeling about it.
Wow. All right.
I mean, that's
I
a.
think he forgot to put in. And,
And that's just his.
he's
That's
like,
just his.
Oh, yeah, we totally put it in.
A
It's
robot
just a
said it.
thing. Yeah.
How much did this film make on opening night?
Opening night.
Opening night. Tim.
45 million.
What?
Correct.
Night.
What?
Trigg
Wow.
coming out.
Yeah, that's a.
Hey, no. Not my Boba Fett.
Someone goes
the
on
Boba
the
Fett shall
internet.
be cut in half and given to both rightful owners.
No.
You know what? I don't want it.
Then you are the rightful
His
owner.
heart is true.
Question 9.
That was an awesome King Solomon reference, you guys.
I was referring to when Newman did that on Seinfeld about the bicycle.
King Solomon, Seinfeld, same thing. Really.
I don't know what it says about me that I went biblical.
Catholic school, probably.
Yeah. Go see Lady Bird.
Yeah. it's
Anyways.
great. Question 9. Carrie Fisher's daughter plays what role in the film? Tim.
Pork.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know her name, but she's one of the not said rebellion.
Resistance.
Resistance.
Is the word you're looking for.
She's the blonde girl with the almost Leia. It's
Her
Billy
name
Lord
is
her name, but I can't remember.
Correct. Her character's name is Lieutenant Onyx, but that is Carrie Fisher's wife.
Wow. May as well give him the Onyx Tonics for that Conix.
Wow.
That's it, folks. We're out here.
All right. One question left and a bonus because I had another one.
So 2 questions left.
Yeah. Question 10.
Fuck, is it a bonus?
Just
It's
In
a
case
bonus.
there's
two
'cause I said
questions
it's a bonus. God damn it.
All right.
Question 10. Daisy Ridley's father visited the set and asked which actor. Who do you play then? Connor.
Mark Hamill.
Correct.
Nice.
And she later said, I don't know if he was joking. Bonus question. Who is the only actor to be in every Star Wars film? Oh, I'm gonna go Trigg.
Anthony Daniels.
Correct.
That's what I would have said.
What would you have said? Porg?
I would have said,
The fucking worst. Drake, thanks for playing. Have
hey!
some coffee.
Bravo.
And
Well,
thank
I
you
will
all
be selling
for
this
coming.
outside.
No, get the
yeah, it's
fuck. You don't get
$10,
his microphone anymore. We gave you the card. You're
I'm
off the
sorry.
podcast. Jesus
He's leaving now.
Christ. There are fucking boundaries.
Trigg will be a guest on the podcast very soon. So
Nice.
I'm looking
He
forward to it.
will?
I'll show up and win something then.
Yeah, just show up at my house. Just bing bong. Oh, hey, Connor, what's up?
He's just like, I'm only here for the trivia. What movie did we watch?
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to get it right.
And he does.
Great. Let's do
that was
ratings
fun.
of the movie. Let's
Yeah.
do out of 5 porgs. What did we think of The Last Jedi? Connor, as a guest.
I'll give it a 3.5.
3.5.
I don't think that I will ever watch it again, but we're going to do a RiffTrax of it, so I'll watch it then.
There you go.
And then I will never watch it again.
Yeah, I'll probably go 3.5. 2. I liked it. I didn't love it. I wasn't clamoring to see it again. When I saw The Force Awakens, I was like, oh man, that was so much fun, and I want to see it again. And when I saw this one, I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel. I got to think about it a little bit. And I'm sure I'll see it again, but it didn't ruin Star Wars
No.
like some
Shut up,
fucking
nerds.
crazy people. I'm not excited for any more Star Wars. No, stop it.
Then don't go see them. No one will care about you. I'm going to give it 4.5. I really liked it. It had its faults, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I think my favorite thing about the whole experience was a moment during an exciting scene near the end of the film when I looked over to the girl about my age, so a young woman, who was literally on the edge of her seat with her elbows on her knees staring at the screen. I was like, yep, that's how I feel too. I'm having so much fun watching this.
Well,
so.
why were you looking at her and not the screen, you weirdo?
Because she caught my eye, because she leaned forward.
Why weren't you? She's more dedicated.
Because I was sitting like this. Because I sit with my fingers.
You were sitting
steepled.
like
Like Mr. Burns?
Yes. That's how I watch
Yes.
Star Wars films.
Yes.
I'm enjoying this very much.
excellent.
Yes. Plugs. Connor, where can people find you? You just have a book that just came out.
Yeah.
I have a book.
He wrote a book, you
Two.
guys. He wrote 2 books.
2 books.
There are
I haven't
maybe it'll be
read
out by the
a
time it
book.
comes out. Yeah, look for that. Search my last name on Amazon, and hopefully it will be out by then. It should be out. It takes place partially at the Olympics,
Well,
so I want it to come out before the Winter Olympics. So this podcast is out then.
It's out tomorrow.
ish.
We got quick turnaround.
No real hang time on this.
No, we don't gotta edit much.
And by we, he means me.
Yeah, look for that. I wrote
Why,
a book.
why are you
It's
acting
fun.
like it's a
What?
burden? I just said it wasn't a lot to do.
What's the name of it?
It's called the Pole Vault Championship of the entire universe.
Woo!
So it's got some galaxy stuff going on too,
Nice.
just like Star Wars.
How about that?
Probably be just as successful.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone sucking some aardvark titties?
There's always a chance for the epilogue, I guess, or like the bonus
Yes.
scene that
Yeah.
you write.
Have
and
me
put
write
up
a
as short
foreword
story.
that's just my fan fiction of what I think should have happened in
Happened in
that
the book.
scene.
No,
Luke
no,
presses his chapped lips.
No. No. And
There's no way they're moisturized. He's been on that island that long.
what's the name of your other book?
Gone Whaling. That's about a college student who starts waking up every other day on a 18th century whaling ship.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they're both funny. That's
Oh,
not a
thank
serious
you.
book about that
Thank you.
crazy topic.
Oh, it's not Old Man in the Sea 2, the Millennial Edition.
Oh, I don't have any signal out here for Instagram. Wah, wah.
Instagram is a social media.
Stop. Tim, plugs.
Every Thursday, 9 p.m., Vermont Comedy Club, which is you're here.
Yeah. This building.
This building. We do improv. The Unmentionables. We are actually not performing this week, so don't come. But come, it's probably a good show. And then every second Tuesday of the month at the Light Club Lamp Shop, I perform stand-up comedy. I have a stand-up comedy show that I booked there. A lot of fun. Pulling Yo Chain. Cool.
Woo. Great. Follow me on social media for all my shit, because there's a lot going on.
Follow my dog on Instagram.
Do that.
I do.
Sweet.
It's a social media platform. At Hot Tiggity Dog.
She's the best.
She is the best.
All right. We have to thank, of course, VCAM for allowing us to use the cameras so we can put this on the TV. Hope in TV land enjoyed that.
I didn't
Thank
play to
you-
the camera at all.
Thank you, Eric
If you're watching on
Herz-O'Brien.
VCAM, I've been nude beneath the table the whole time.
No pants. No pants. Thank you to Eric Herz-O'Brien for running the cameras for us. You're the best. Thank you. Yes, applaud for Eric. He's great.
Keep that clap coming for the Vermont Comedy Club for letting us do this thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, VCC. And, of course, thank you, Battleship Pretension, our podcast network, for not kicking us off yet, for being a bunch of dicks.
Whoa.
Which we are.
I'm a bunch of dicks.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And until next time.
Fuck you, James Franco.
This has been a Pretty Beard production. Produced by Lincoln L. Hayes. Opening theme by The End of America, theendofamericamusic.com. Podcast logo by Ash Farbrother. Follow Tim on Instagram at WashingTimBridge and Twitter at HaHaTimBridge. Follow Lincoln pretty much everywhere at Lincoln L. Hayes. Go to WTFRUWatching.Libsyn.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Now go watch something. Damn it.
This program is a proud member of the Battleship Pretension Fleet.